Hello, we are the team involved in the creation of the Nailed app. So this is the front-end app, the code that we made. Here are the importations, the code of the backend in a function, other function used for the time. This is the render of how the complete app looks. And this is a flat list that we put for the design of the app.
This is the backend design code. And here is the router design that is the one responsible for communicating with the front end. Here we have the routes and all the functions necessary for the salons function.
So the implementation of the backend basically is an API in Heroku. We have all the post, get, and delete functions that we need to make the app works. So this is the backend, and in the case of the front end, we have here the app running on the simulator that we can check as alone and see which services have. So we can also run it on a cell phone. Let me show it to you how it looks on an iPhone. So we have here the app running. You can choose a salon. Here, select a service that we want. We book it and select an hour. We can see 4 p.m. and that's basically all. So another important part of this project was the testing. Let me show you the test. We have the app navigator test that is basically the test of how the screens move between the app and check if that functionality works properly. So we can run now the test and check it. We have here some tests pass and some tests fails, but here's the implementation of the test on the front end.
All right, so right now we can showcase a little bit of how testing was done on the backend. Here they are made in Python, and each of these methods references a test case or situation in which a user story passes successfully or not. And when we run all of the tests in our test suite, it is called PyTest. Each of the files here have many different methods specific of each user story, either async or not async, and they communicate with the backend database in order to make sure that each of the functions are correct. And here we can see 44 tests passed, so it is all okay.
Now we're going to show you the mockups that we did. This one is the mockup from the front end. First, we have the design of how the screen is going to look. This case is confirmation screen. But also we have how it is going to be connected with the backend, how it is going to get the params, and what it needs to do a reservation in this case.
Here we have the backend mockup. Basically, we have name, description, the URL that the frontend is going to use to communicate with the backend, the method that is going to be, the parameters necessary to give to the backend, the internal method execution path, the return values with the respective key and value, and finally the HTTP return codes.
We use the Jira tool to keep a track on how was going the project. So here in the backlog, we have all the tasks that will be needed to realize. Here are some of the tasks. And once you click a task, then it will appear the user story where it has his description and the acceptance criteria. Also, it needs to be assigned to someone of the team members. Once the tasks are all done, then it can be passed to the sprint. When the tasks are on the sprint, then it should appear in the board, in the section board, where it has a progress to have to do, in progress, code review, testing, and when it's all done, well, it can be passed to the last board. To see how was the work of the team at the end of the sprint, there are a sprint burn down chart where it can show how does the task were done and the time when they all finished.
Adding a little bit to the information that Jesus just presented, for the follow-up process, we implemented an agile methodology based on Scrum, where we as a team acted as developers working in 2 to 3 week iterations called sprints, mapping client requirements to user stories with their own description and acceptance criteria, and moving each of these tickets to a different status until the code was tested and completed.
Our biggest challenge was the communication, and we really learned a lot from that. Now we're looking forward to do our daily scrums and to do a better design to be more prepared for our code and for possible future errors. So this was Nailed It. Hope you liked it. Thank you.